Once again, welcome back to the program. Break to ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬਰਿੰਦਰ ਰਸੋਦੀ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਸਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰ ਹਨ। ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਵਸੰਤ ਲਖਾਨੀ ਨਾਲ। ਇੰਡੋ ਅਫਰੀਕਾ ਚੈਰੀਟੇਬਲ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀ ਦੇ ਇਹ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ਰ ਹਨ ਅਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੈਂਪਸ ਲਾਏ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਫਿਲੈਂਥਰੋਪਿਕ ਵਰਕ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੀ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਮ ਜਨਤਾ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਬਿਹਤਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਿੰਗ ਅੱਗੇ ਲਿਆਈ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ। ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਵਸੰਤ ਲਖਾਨੀ ਦਾ। वेलकम टू द प्रोग्राम। सो मिस्टर लखानी, इंडो अफ्रीका चैरिटेबल सोसाइटी जो है बीइंग इंडियन अफ्रीका का जो इसके साथ जोड़ के आपने ये संस्था बनाई, ये क्या है, इतिहास क्या है इसका, पीछा उखड़ क्या है?
संस्था इससे बनाई, आई एम बोर्न इन युगांडा।
Okay.
As yet my father was born in India. My father moved to Uganda in 1917. So I was born in Uganda, but I went schooling in university in India.
Okay.
So there's a connection with me, India and India and Uganda as well.
Okay.
So when we first started in India.
जी.
I went to work in the earthquake in Gujarat. Then I worked in tsunami in South India.
जी.
And then while we were doing this medical, what we do is we do medical camps.
Okay.
That means we go in a village. We have doctors from UK, USA and Canada. Also we have local participation of local doctors and hospitals.
Right.
We go there, we set up a camp and we see the patients.
जी.
We treat them freely, free medicines, free surgeries if required.
Okay.
So this is how Indo-Africa came into existence.
Okay.
Last couple of years ago we registered a charity.
Right.
And now we have expanded quite a bit. We also go into India and we do water boards, filtration plant.
Okay.
And clothes to the children.
Right.
TV in the schools, whatever is required in village schools.
Right.
We provide them.
Oh, that's wonderful. सो एज़ यू सेड, जैसे आपने जो बात की है कि आपका कनेक्शन होने के कारण इस संस्था का ये नाम रखा गया, पर किस तरीके की समस्याएं जो हैं हम चाहेंगे आज बताइए कि अफ्रीका में और ख़ास तौर के ऊपर आप सिर्फ युगांडा ही जाते हैं या और वहाँ के शहर जो मुल्क हैं वहाँ भी जाते हैं, और क्या प्रॉब्लम्स क्या हैं वहाँ पे?
देखो, मैं युगांडा, हम इंडिया में थे
जी,
सुनामी टाइम
जी।
आई हैड सम डॉक्टर्स फ्रॉम यूएसए, दे अपॉइंटेड मी टू बी द कोऑर्डिनेटर ऑफ द प्रोग्राम.
ओके.
सो दे सेड व्हाई डोंट वी गो टू युगांडा. Uganda is my home country, my birthplace. I was excited. I set up a camp in Uganda. I went very successfully. Saw about 6,000 patients in the first year. Today we are seeing about 15,000 a year.
Right.
We set up a camp for 2 weeks, either in the hospital or on a football ground, wherever it's feasible, but very close to the hospital if we need it. What happens is, in Uganda, highly poverty-stricken areas are there. Third world countries, always there's a need. There's a need of medical treatment to the patients. The population of Uganda has overgrown. When we left in 1971, when we came here, population was 9 million. Today is 32 million. Now infrastructure in Uganda hasn't caught up with the need of the people.
Okay.
So meet the need of the people. We are there, whatever we can do.
Right.
I think we're doing very little if you consider it a mass thing, but at least we treat about 14,000 patients.
Okay.
Surgeries, saved life by providing blood transfusion.
Right.
This is Uganda. In India, it's little different. In India, there is need for water wells. We found that out because kya hota hai in India mein, in Saurashtra, in Gujarat mainly, when we have a water well. In some of those water wells we get bauxite.
Okay.
Minerals.
Right.
High mineral contents affect children's kidneys.
Right.
So what we do is we started putting filtration plant on every well that's there. And it's all done freely through donations and charities.
Right. So as you said, basically it is run through donations, but do you also get some assistance from the government of Canada also?
No, we don't.
Okay. So
we are very small. We are
solely on donations.
It's only
so where are basically the donations coming from?
Donations come from the people. They give donations. Corporations.
Right.
Abhi hamara 11th of May we have an event that we are putting together. This is our second annual Mother's Day weekend event.
Okay.
Last year we did very well. So what we're going to do is this year we do it. So we have dinner, dance, music.
So it's basically a fundraiser.
Fundraiser.
Okay. On the 11th of May.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a great fundraiser for us because last year we did quite well.
Right.
What happens in the last 3-4 years, our patient loads have increased.
Right.
Okay. At the same time, the prices of medicines have gone up.
जी.
तो क्या होता है कि we had to do something because private donations
match up.
Couldn't match up with the demand of the people.
Okay.
So when we can't meet the demand, we decided, okay, now is the time to do some fundraising there.
Right.
So last year we did the first one. This year it's a second one. We will be doing on May the 11th at Richmond, at Bollywood Banquet Hall in Richmond.
Okay.
And so what we have done is we have a dinner. We
Right,
have
at the Riverside Banquet Hall.
Riverside
Right,
Banquet.
okay. Not Bollywood Banquet Hall.
No,
Right.
sorry, on Riverside Banquet Hall
Right.
in Richmond.
Okay.
So
So like you are saying that you go to Uganda, you go to India, provide medical services, provide clean water. So if, how much is the total expenditure which you have incurred so far? And in one such camp, like where you treat a number of patients, so if somebody wants to be a part of this movement whereby they want to help someone, so for example, if one patient, if we take medically some services to be provided, how much does it cost approximately?
Dekho, we have 14,000, 15,000 patients, that's what our track records are. If you provide $1 worth of medicine to one patient, it's $14,000. So Uganda, it costs the medicine. Also in Uganda, some of the doctors, they work for us.
Okay.
We pay them very stipulation or honoraria.
Right.
We say $50 a day for a doctor is not much money.
Right.
Because to catch up the overload we have,
right,
1,000 patients a day, American or Canadian, UK doctor, language is a barrier.
Right.
So if a local doctor is working with us, would say about 5-6 patients in an hour.
Right.
The doctors from overseas, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 patients at the most, because the language barrier. The nurses are sitting there, translation, interpretation takes time. So a camp would cost about $20,000-25,000.
Okay.
You know, and that's what we are looking for today.
Right.
We have private donations, we have sponsors,
right,
and we go ahead. In India, it's totally different.
Right.
In India, the medicines are not as expensive, and the patient load is not as high.
Right.
Okay. Probably we would see 2,000 patients in 2 weeks.
Right, but in Uganda it is much more, as you said.
Much more.
And also towards the end, you also take students from here, from Canada to Uganda, and in the medical camps. So what is the idea behind this, and why do you think there is a need to take our children from here over there?
See, what we get 3 types of students with me. I get students who are on 4th, 5th year medicine, dentistry, or are doing interns.
Right.
So what they do is they get an experience that they never get in the countries they are graduating from, because they work 2 weeks steady, about maybe 10-12 hours,
right,
different kinds of disease, working with the doctor. Now we have second load of students that come with us who are seeking admissions into medicine or dentistry. So when they come with us, obviously they have an experience working with a doctor, working in the hospital. They get obviously they get a certificate of appreciation from Indo-Africa. But the doctors whom they work with will give them a letter.
Right.
The hospital superintendent will give them a letter. So they have 3 testimonials that the other students may not have.
Right.
So that gives them an edge to get into their either medicine or dentistry.
And of course, by going over there, when they see that how people are living over there, it helps them internally also to become better human beings.
I think that's the biggest advantage they have.
Right.
Is when they come, their parents tell me, my kids has changed now.
Right.
The attitude changes, attitudes toward others.
Right.
Internally, they get more spiritual, and they have seen the poverty,
right,
which in the Western countries we don't see.
Sir, it was a pleasure having you, and best wishes for your endeavors, and this kind of work which is being done, may it help more people, and may more people get involved with such kind of movements so that we can create a better world. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.